Come on, relax your mind. Kick back and just unwind. Don't let this moment overcome you, cause you need this vibe. Music, it takes me there, places where I don't care. I'm overflowing in this motion, you can't help but stare. Flowing like up and down, spinning around and round. Back up and touch the ground I'm making, but I can't sit down. Moving from side to side, feel good cause I'm alive. Don't you feel jealous, just get up and help me feel this vibe.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your main man, Mr. Council, back with another one, Saturday Motivation. You know how we do. I chose Saturday because Saturday is the day that's uniquely your own. Most people work a 9 to 5, so by the time they get to Saturday, they feel it's necessary to take their foot off the gas. But most artists, creatives, and business minds know Saturday is the day to put your foot on the gas and handle your business. What's going on, people? It's a beautiful Saturday out here. Good to be alive. Good to be back with you again. I'm excited. I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me every week. Make sure you hit that like button as you come in. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Share these videos because I want to get this information out to as many people as possible. I'm going to jump right in. This one I think I'm going to make a little bit more personal. I've been battling on how to touch on this topic since I started. I have grown the understanding that if you're going to put yourself out there as an advocate for people making themselves the best version of themselves, you have to give people your testimony, the things that you've gone through. And that's why I'm very open and candid about my life. It's only so much about me I will talk about in public, because I don't feel it's necessary for you to share everything about your life with people. It's a large amount of your life that's just meant for you and God. But a lot of us go through things as lessons, and those lessons become testimonies, and your story can change somebody's life. People don't understand how just somebody hearing what you've gone through can impact and change somebody's life. So I'm going to attempt to, in this video, I think this one is going to be a hard one for me. So forgive me if I'm slow to speak, because I always like to be measured in my thoughts and my expressions. And this is a very, very sensitive topic for me. Something that I've dealt with for the past 4 years. You can't cheat your way to the top. You can't cheat your way to the top. You can't cheat yourself or take shortcuts when you're trying to accomplish something. And me taking a shortcut almost cost me my life. About almost 4 years ago, probably in another to the month, I had a heart attack. I'm in my early 40s. That's something I probably should have never had to experience at such an early age. But thank God I am still here. If it wasn't for His grace and mercy and His blessings, I would not be here. And the reason why I got put in that position is because it was self-induced. I've been on a weight loss journey my entire life, since I was probably a teenager. And I've struggled with my weight. I'm very open about that. I really don't care what anybody thinks about that. I don't look down upon myself. I've always found a way to stay motivated. I've always battled. Like Les Brown says, I've lost 22 pounds a countless amount of times. But that's not the focus of what I'm trying to say. The whole thing was, I would go to the gym. I've been in the gym on and off for 20 years. And I would see guys that were my size in the gym, and within 3 months, they would be shredded. I mean, shredded. And I just had no idea. And I would see their workout. I would watch their workout. I would work out just as long as they would work out, if not longer. And I wasn't getting those same results. And so one day I saw an advertisement on Instagram for a diet pill. And in all my years, I had never tried diet pills. I knew there was something that was not good for you. I knew it was a cheat code in a sense. And even if you did lose weight, or from the experience that I had from knowing people who took them, even if they did lose weight from using them, half the time once they stopped, they would gain all of the weight back very quickly, if not gain more. So that was something I stayed away from. So about 4 years ago, I was in the gym for the summer. I probably lost about 25, 30 pounds. I was in the best shape of my adult life. And I saw one of those guys at the beginning of the summer. He was my size, and 2.5 months later, this guy looked like he was a bodybuilder. And so he was preparing for a show. And so I was like, I'm sick of this. Like, I was just tired because I had been in the gym so long, worked hard for so many years. And I was just like, you know what, screw it. And so I tried these diet pills. Worst mistake I ever made in my life. And after about a week of taking these pills, I started getting some funny, serious palpitations in my heart, which caused me to stop taking them. I was only on them for a week, but a week was a week too long. And so after that process had gone through, my heart was forever changed. I had felt like I felt weak. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't know what was going on. And I ended up going to the doctor. I went to the walk-in clinic, and they told me that nothing was wrong with me. And then I ended up having a bout with insomnia for days. I mean, it was about 5 straight days that I could not sleep. I mean, not a wink. For 5 straight days, it was like an eternity. It was like something I had never gone through before, something I had never experienced. And then throughout that process, it was one night I was in my house, and my heart just was racing. It was racing. And I was sitting in one of my favorite chairs in my house in the living room. And I just remember thinking that I'm going to die. I felt like I was going to die. And my roommate, he wasn't home. And I just was like, he's going to walk in and he's going to see that I'm laid out here on the floor just dead. And I'm going through in my mind, like when you see in movies, like people say their life, their life starts flashing before their eyes. I kind of started doing that, thinking about all the things that were important to me, things that I hadn't accomplished yet. And the only thing I could think to do was try to stay as still as possible so I could get myself back together. And I was afraid to call 911. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, it just felt like something was traveling through my heart, every vessel of it, and I just could not move. And this probably went on for about an hour. And after about an hour, I got the strength up to go to the hospital. Now, the hospital that I went to was a long ways away, back in my hometown, because I wanted to go there because I knew it would be doctors there that probably knew me or my doctors were affiliated with. And so I drove to the emergency room, and I didn't get out. I sat in my car, rolled the windows down. I was breathing heavy because I felt like if I went inside, I could die in the waiting room. A lot of times it's better to call the ambulance and have them rush you in, and so they can have an immediate look at you and try to get hold of the situation. But me being a pig-headed man, I sat in my car, I took deep breaths, and slowly I began to feel a little bit better. And so I went home. I didn't go in. That was probably the toughest night of my entire life because I saw my life ending that night. It was a night I'll never forget. It was a night that I'm forever changed. I'll never be the same after that night. I just felt like I never felt like I really, really was going to die like I did in that moment. And I went back to the doctor. I went to the walk-in clinic because I didn't have a primary care at the time. Mine had just retired. So I was in search for a new primary care doctor. So I just wanted to go to the walk-in and see if they could figure something out. They ended up sending me to the emergency room. Not because they had found something, but because they couldn't find anything. So I ended up going to the hospital, went to the emergency room. They ran all kinds of tests on me and nothing. They said nothing was wrong with me, but I knew something wasn't right with my body. And so I just, that was all within this week. I had dealt with that insomnia bout. So on top of that, I could not sleep. My body didn't feel right. And I just didn't know how much time I had left on this earth. And then all of a sudden, this is about a month and a half later. So that traumatic experience happened that night. And a month and a half later, I have a show. I just turned 40. And I had a birthday show. And the week after that, I was supposed to go down to South Carolina for my homecoming, because it's something I go to every year at my old college. Shout out to South Carolina State University, the Bulldogs. Anybody who's listening, I love y'all. But I was supposed to go down there for homecoming, which is something that I do every year. And the night before I was supposed to leave, my feet went numb. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I walked to the refrigerator because I wanted to get some water. And my feet, I was standing in front of the refrigerator and my feet just went numb. My legs started cramping to a point where I had to sit down. And then all of a sudden, I'm stamping my feet. It's like when you're sitting in a certain position too long and you feel like your feet have fallen asleep. That's exactly how I felt. So I'm stomping on my feet. My left foot comes right back, normalcy. Stomping on that right foot, nothing. Stomping on that right foot, nothing. I'm dragging my foot around the house. I go into the shower. I take a shower. I'm just like, maybe if I run some water on it, it'll wake up. I spent about an hour trying to wake that foot back up. Nothing. And so I ended up making it to the hospital. I was like, listen, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. And so I made my way to the hospital. And they ran some tests. And they ended up admitting me into the hospital. So that trip to South Carolina was just off the table. And the doctor came in the next morning and asked if I had had anything traumatic go on with my heart. And I said, yeah, about a month and a half ago. And I had told him everything I'm just laying out to you. And he said, well, that was a heart attack. And I'm looking perplexed like, wow. And my father died of a heart attack when I was younger. And so it was just a moment. It was a surreal moment when he had said that. Because I didn't know that that's how serious it was what I was going through, what I was experiencing. Normally I'm thinking like, you have a heart attack, you have a massive heart attack, you die right there. That's what I'm used to, the dramatic stuff in TV. And I didn't realize, there are different levels like that. And it just shook me to my core. I ended up being in the hospital for 9 days. I had to essentially learn how to walk again because I had lost the strength in my legs. And so just trying to walk down the hallway was a task. Trying to get down the street was a monumental task, just walking. And I was out of work for a couple months. I'm never out of work. I'm always at work. I may take a day off here and there and once in a great while, but I go to work. I've always been trained to go to work and do my best. And I had to be out of work. I had to be away from my kids for months. And I was probably out of work about 2 months. And I ended up rushing myself back a little too soon. And so once I had gotten back to work, I ended up developing pink eye. But this pink eye was a rare infection to where it lasted for 2 weeks. So I had to stay out of work another 2 weeks. But that was God telling me, boy, if you don't sit yourself down and recover, you are going to die. If you don't sit yourself down and recover, you are going to die. And I knew that's what he was speaking through me. And so I sat down for the first time and I just gave in. Because see, I've always been a hard worker. I've been chasing my dreams for 20 years, working a day job and chasing my dream at night. I've been relentless for so long, and I've questioned so much in that time period. But God has changed me in so many ways that I will forever be grateful for. Now, I don't like that I have had to go through this. I still have effects of it to this day. I'm a much stronger man. I'm kind of back to where I was physically before it happened. I've been working relentlessly in the gym. I'm forever changed because of that experience. But I put myself in that position because I tried to cheat my way to success and weight loss. So you have to understand the price of shortcuts. A shortcut could cost you your life. A shortcut could cost you your soul. Even if you're still living, your soul is gone because you didn't do it the right way. You didn't do it the way God intended. And that's the only way that matters, is the way that He intended. And so instead of changing my diet and working a little bit harder and going to maybe a specialist or a nutritionist or a personal trainer to get some assistance, I took the easy road and it almost cost me my life. It's hard for me to even talk about it at this time, and that's why I think God had me wait so long to bring this to YouTube, because I couldn't speak about this before. And I kind of got the confidence yesterday when I was at, because I've been training some of my old students for the gym because they're playing high school basketball, and I try to teach them lessons and different things that I've gone through so they won't make the same mistakes. And I told one of my young boys this yesterday, and that's why I feel so necessary to speak about this now, because I didn't know when I was going to be able to speak enough on it to be able to get through it without breaking down. I almost lost my life. Everything that I've been working for would have been down the tubes in an instant, just because I didn't have the strength enough to follow through the right way. So no longer will I take shortcuts. No longer will I ever try to take the easy way out. And I never tried that before. I never did that before. And I don't know what it was that caused me to do that time, but that's what happens when you get frustrated. That's what happens when you battle so long and you put yourself in a position to where you have no other choice. But I did have another choice. And I cheated. And I cheated my life in the process. So if I can motivate you today, don't cheat yourself. It's not worth it. God is putting you through something for a reason. He's with you. It's hard, but it's supposed to be. You won't get better if it's not. And this is why it took me so long to do this video. But it needed to be done. Somebody needs to hear this. Protect your soul. Protect your spirit. God is with you. And He will carry you through anything. I'm a testament of that. Nobody can take that experience from me. But I know God has something special for me because I'm still here. I used to sing that in church. I'm still here. And so I will go through the fire to get to where I'm trying to get to. Nobody will stop me. Because I've been through hell. And I'm still here. And I'm better every day because of it. So understand, your road might be hard. It might be difficult, but it's difficult for a reason. And it's building you on the inside to be so much better, to be His representative. Because that's what He needs you to be. You are a reflection of Him. You aren't God, but you are a reflection of God. And so your spirit must be pure. Your spirit must be tested. It must be righteous to carry out what He needs you to carry out. Understand you are powerful. You are special. And everything you need is right inside. You just have to be strong enough to walk the path that He's leading you down and not take shortcuts, because a shortcut might cost you your life. We're motivating lives and changing minds in 2022. This was a tough one for me today, but it had to get out. Somebody had to hear my story. And somebody has to understand that how special that they are and who they belong to. I understand that. I know the road gets tough, but somebody's watching you. Somebody's being inspired by you. They need your story. So continue to walk down that path. Continue to take the hard road, because trust me, God will be with you, because He's been with me every step of the way. That's my time. Peace to all my people in the struggle.
I met you when I was young. We kissed and we fell in love. Knew you were the one because I felt you inside my lungs. I have messed up again, so chose to let you go live. That's when I saw you with him. Heartbroken, so I just lived. I think I'm ready, might be ready. Now I'm ready for love. Don't think I'm jealous, but I felt it when I saw you someone. Okay, I'm jealous, cause I never thought you'd leave me alone. So now I'm jealous, I can't stand it, and I can't let you go. No, I just can't let you go. No, I just can't let you. I thought to myself, oh why'd you leave her home?